What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another special interview edition of Third and Longhorn. Today we got a little studio on the road set up, but we wanted to have our man, Mr. Jake Majors, in the house today.
Yeah, baby.
What's going on, everybody?
Good to have you here, man. Well, we kind of always start off with, tell us the story about how you got to Texas. Like, I know you were heavily recruited. What did it come down to? Who were the key players, and what made you choose Texas?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I was recruited by Coach Herman and Coach Hand, the O-line coach at the time. And I mean, it really just came down to being close to family. It was between here and Washington and Stanford. Those are kind of my three top schools, and it really just came to who's going to be closer to home. And obviously, it was Texas. And once they offered me, and I was weighing my decision. I actually made my decision at a basketball game at the old Irwin Center. Me and my dad kind of. It was like halftime, and he pulled me aside. He's like, "You ready? I think this is the one, man." I was like, I think so too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it went down, and it's been a blessing to be here ever since.
What attracted you about the other two, Washington and Stanford?
I really like the staff. Majority of the staff that's there now, that is moving to Alabama. They were there, and I just really loved just how much of a family it felt whenever I was there. My unofficial visit that I went on, it wasn't even scheduled. It was like a last minute thing, and it kind of all made me feel at home. I remember Coach PK, he was recruiting me in the Dallas area, so I knew PK before all you guys did. But yeah, man, those guys were just super nice. Treated me like family, and it was pretty hard telling them I wasn't going to go there because they were probably my second choice. And then Stanford, of course, just the history that's at Stanford, the academics. Academics is huge for me. Yeah. So that's kind of why those two were in the race.
Well, I'm glad you ended up at the Harvard of the South.
The right spot.
You made the right choice.
Yeah. Whenever you look at it too, Jake, you've gone through the transition, right? Coming in from the Herman era, now you in the Sark era, completely different coaching staff, probably feels a little different too. What's kind of been the biggest thing that stood out you now 3 years in with Sark versus how you first came underneath that Herman era?
Yeah, I think with Sark, he's just really set in stone what he wants from us, and the culture that he's wanted, and he's done a great job recruiting guys that stick to that culture and what he wants in this program. And clearly what he's doing is working because you guys are seeing the results. But just being able to be a part of this and just see everything come to fruition it's just been awesome, man. Sark's one heck of a coach. You guys see the play calls that he makes, but even better, he's a better guy, and he treats us all like family. And, that's what all you can ask for, being away from your family all the time. Who's going to treat you like family?
Yeah. And I'll say this: when we're talking about the differences between the Herman era and the Sark era, I'm right there with you. I feel like now it's like that big family environment. I know when Herman was here, I was still in the league, and he wouldn't even let me come back and work out in the weight room.
That's crazy.
He was just shunning the OGs, and it left a bad taste in my mouth. So I'm glad you hit that family atmosphere and perspective.
That's a big part of Texas.
Yeah.
As I know it.
It's got to be.
Always was for me.
He's the only person that's been at the University of Texas for 9 years. Y'all seen the tight end from Miami?
Oh, yeah.
You got a ninth year or something?
He got a ninth year of eligibility.
Man.
Jay Hills really was the one that pioneered the opportunity for somebody.
Before the COVID years and all that kind of stuff, that was Jay Hills.
I bleed real burn on. Is all that I'm hearing.
He's the blood supply.
So then talking about this year, you come in, you've seen some of you came to a program that wasn't where it's at now.
Yeah.
What's made this year so special?
Just really the team chemistry, man. I don't think there's a guy that was in that locker room that I couldn't talk to. I think that everybody was approachable. Everybody had that love for each other, even though, I may not be as tight with, Jade as I am with Christian or Kelvin. But I know if I see Jade, it's 100. We're going to keep it 100. And I think that's just what it was, man. And the coaches were always on the same, level and headspace as the players. It wasn't like here and here. It was level. That's what you can appreciate as a player is you can come to these coaches, you can come to other players that you may not talk to that much, and it's still love. So,
I love that. Yeah. I want to ask you this because And when I was playing, my favorite part of practice, as Sark calls the good on good, ones-on-ones.
Yeah.
The intensity level ratchets up a little bit when that happens.
Yeah.
You had the luxury, I should say, the privilege. When they go ones-on-ones, man, you went up against some of the best in the country, if not the best in the country. Byron Murphy, Tavondre Sweat. Even the last couple of years with Ojimo and Coburn. What has that done for you? I mean, is your confidence through the roof? I used to love going up against, Roy Williams and B.J. Johnson. So guys I knew were going to play in the NFL and think to myself, I covered that dude. I'm an NFL player.
Yeah.
How's that psychology work with you going up against those guys every day?
Yeah, man, for sure. Of course, those two guys going to the draft this year, super excited for them. But man, in the moment of practice, I was like, golly, is it going to get worse than this? And honestly, going against those guys every day, I would always tell myself, you're not going to see this in a game. These guys are different.
Yeah.
And so just having that luxury to go against those guys and compete and win, and lose too, you just got to understand that, those guys are there to make you better. And they did. I've had the privilege of playing with Byron and T Sweat and Ojimo, Coburn, and all of them. And they've all made me, who I am today.
Well, it's also probably going to be a lot quieter next year without T Sweat there. You probably won't have to talk as much or listen as much.
He was always the one chirping, man. O-line, we just go out there and just play ball. We're kind of just tunnel vision. Let's get this stuff done. But T Sweat was always the one to chirp, and it would get under our skin and make us play better. So we're gonna need some of that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that's what defense is about, baby.
It really is.
There you go.
Yeah.
Chirping.
Exactly.
Chirping.
I knew once that we were playing teams where they weren't chirping at us. I was like, we're gonna win this one. You gotta have a D lineman that chirps, or it's just not fun.
That's awesome.
That dog in him, baby, barking.
Jake, you come back for another year. You have the opportunity to go see NFL dreams realized or come back and continue to finish kind of the foundation that you've been able to lay.
Yeah.
What went into that decision, and how do you kind of weigh the differences in going into NFL or coming back for another year?
Yeah, it's just really, of course, what the scouts are saying about you at the end of the day. And, I was talking to multiple people, and they said that, you haven't reached your potential yet. You have more out there. And so once I heard that, I felt like I would be doing myself a disservice not coming back and, playing another year at Texas. Of course, well, it's the cool part about it is being part of history. To be a part of the first UT football team in the SEC. So, that was a huge part. And of course, Coach Flood, man, that guy's changed my career around like it's nothing, man. It's been awesome playing under that guy. And if I wasn't going to go to the NFL, I wanted to be here. So I wanted to be a Flood. Yep.
So thinking about that, we're moving to the SEC next year. What about that excites you?
What isn't there to be excited about, man? You get to play in Mercedes-Benz at the SEC Championship.
Speak it.
Of course, there's going to be, a level of, there's going to be a talent level change from Big 12 and the SEC. There's going to be different styles of defense. You're going to see more traditional pro-style defenses, and that's going to ultimately what gets you prepared for the NFL.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm excited for, because in the Big 12, you saw these different defenses, like, joker defenses that were very annoying to go against, not gonna lie. But, going against those pro-style defenses help you prepare for the next level.
Absolutely.
Well, I did. We'll take it back to Coach Flood real quick. I remember from the Sugar Bowl press conference, he called you a football cyborg, and that you're always asking questions, and that you're asking questions that are way past your age and where you kind of technically should be. Where does that come from? And is it something, or when did you first kind of fall in love with the game and really start to study it like a student?
Honestly, it was just whenever they came here.
Really.
I knew I had to prove a point of want to keep my spot. I knew everything was up for grab whenever they came in, so I wanted to solidify myself as, I wanted to be the center. I wanted to, lead this O-line and be a part of Flood's first group here. And, that really just came from, loving the game, man. I love dissecting defenses. I love knowing what our plays are doing behind me while, I do my part. Just having that love for watching something come to life that we prepare for. We practice this play over and over and over, and then we get to a game and it's like that, like 50-yard touchdown. Like, that's the love that you have for it at O-line. And being able to move somebody, man,
That's probably even
I gotta admit, now that you just said that, I'm thinking about being able to like against another grown man's will, he's being moved out of the way.
Let me add to that. As good as that might feel for you, I've been on the other side of that. Yeah. It's equally just as poor on this end. The worst feeling.
Yeah.
Nothing, like you can't even drop to the ground because they're underneath.
Like, so how does it feel when two people are moving you?
That's what I'm saying. You're trying to drop to the ground and literally y'all are not letting me make a pile on the ground. It's a bad feeling.
I can't even make a pile. And then what's worse than that is the film the next day. When coach got to look at it.
Can we skip past that? You know exactly what play it is.
So then I'm thinking, as I'm thinking about you and your game, obviously, I mean, you locked in, like Coach said, cyborg, right? Asking all the right questions. Obviously, a student of the game. Who do you model your game after? Who do you look at on film and you're like, I want to play like that guy. I want to learn from that guy.
Man, that's a great question. There's obviously guys that I look at in the NFL. I mean, number one's got to be Jason Kelce. Come on. He's I think, I mean, growing up, like my life, he's my GOAT of that position. And I mean, I've only been playing this position this is going to be my 5th year. I played tackle in high school, so it hasn't been a center thing for me all my life. But I mean, just the way he attacks, the field, just being able to see like just small snippets of like what he's doing in the meeting room, stuff like that. Just like I try and like model my game around him, being this agile center who can get to the second level, pull, make plays on the perimeter, stuff like that, and also, not make mistakes at the line of scrimmage, whether that's ID in the front, calling the mic, making the slide call, stuff like that.
Give me a little bit more perspective on that. So a lot of people hear the word offensive lineman or they hear the word a center, but they don't really understand what you actually do other than just block, right?
Yeah.
The center, quarterback of the offense, of the offensive line, rather.
Yeah.
What goes into the calls that you make, the slide protection? Are you IDing the defenses? How the communication between you and Quinn work? Like, how does that work pre-snap? How does that work even after the snap? Are you overriding some of the calls? Like if it's a full slide, you go, hey, we can't do that. We got to do this. Like what all goes into pre-snap and preparation playing center specifically?
Yeah, I mean, each program and each team, it's different. But like under this system, it's my job to set the front, whether that's like an odd front with the zero nose over me or a 4-down front, all the exotics on 3rd down, stuff like that. We all put them into categories. I have to identify that. And then of course the mic point, whether it's, gap or zone, I got a mic, who we're tracking or who we're going to. Right. And then ultimately based off the fronts and who the mic is, making a call to get everybody on the same page.
Right. How fast does that happen?
It's got to happen fast because Sark likes to move fast. It's got to happen fast. A lot of film, I'm big in like experience, like practicing, like going to the practice field and seeing it with my eyes rather than just film. I feel like that helps me the most. So whenever I get the looks from the scout, like that helps me a lot because I can like look at the defense and say, okay, this is what I'm going to see. This is the call I'm going to make on this play.
For the people that don't know at home, what does that mean, the looks from the scout?
So the scout teams are like, guys who kind of take on the role of the opposing team's defense. They line up in the fronts that we're going to see, different coverages, stuff like that. And they basically, we try and fit them into, body types. If it's a big nose, we'll put a big guy there. If it's speed guys on the edge, we'll put speed guys there. And they usually give us great looks on, what we're going to see on game day.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. My fault, Rod. But just since we're on the topic, what's your least favorite front to see? Just because as a D lineman, that always fascinates me.
Man, I really hate zero noses because majority of the time it's just one-on-one, especially in protection or, ice fronts, stuff like that, bear, where it's single nose, 2 3s, and 2 edge guys. But yeah, zero noses are usually the most difficult. It's not as fun for me because I'm just sitting there on the line with this big nose that it's not going anywhere. Like, I got to cover them up. But I mean, yeah, zero noses, odd fronts, they're not fun to go against because I don't get to, traditionally like against like a 4-down front, I get to, pull
can play more.
I get to
not covered.
Be athletic. You can show your athleticism.
You're not covered. With a 0, you're directly covered. Now you got to snap the ball and make sure you.
I got to snap the ball and then reach the guy who already has leverage on me. When against 4 down front, I'm uncovered. I have space to move and get to the second level or pull stuff like that.
I'll tell you though, I know that's probably not fun for you, but all skill position guys, you see a 0 nose, it just cleans up the picture.
It does.
It's like you can only do so much from this, so it's like it cleans up the whole picture on the back end, just makes it easier.
It's funny. Georgia's gonna be like, all right.
Exactly. Gave it away. We cut that part.
Jake playing chess though. That's really his favorite front.
That's what y'all know.
That's his favorite front to see. Actually,
I would ask you a random question because you talked about how Jason Kelce, one of your inspirations. You don't have to say it. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to. Did you guys try to tush push this year?
We did.
I know. Okay, don't even tell me what game because I think I know what game.
I got it too.
Yeah. I was gonna say I thought I saw
first
it.
down's a first down.
That's right.
but Jason, I heard a thing where Jason said that like. He literally he said every time I see it, the first thing I think is F my life. Every time I hear it in the huddle, it's like, how do you feel about like if that was the go-to on 3rd and inches?
I mean, I can't confirm or deny the wording there, but when I get the signal of that play, I'm just like, oh, here we go.
Your knees are getting taken.
Yeah, I'm getting as low
Jake
as possible.
got the PG version of this.
I like it.
I'm trying to keep it PG.
You don't have to, but
Like, my life, Jake's like, here we go.
Exactly.
For the kiddos.
Well, we'll say I got a question where I think I know the answer, and I think it's actually an answer that you have to say. Is there another sport on campus that you really enjoy attending or going to their games or anything?
Volleyball.
Oh yeah, I figured. So for those that don't know, Jake dates one of the best players on the volleyball team, Jenna Wennis, and she's
Also getting
a key
somebody.
a key
Smart man.
But
Winning off the field.
the future. So that being said,
Genetics.
He gets it.
That being said, is there a little internal competition now that she's got some hardware? And I mean, you did bring back some hardware, but she got a little one up on you. So does that kind of drive you more?
Yeah, it definitely drives me. She definitely got a leg on me, but it's.
Does she talk trash?
Nah, she not. I think we have I don't know. I think we're very supportive of each other. I don't think we really go to the trash talking part.
Yeah.
If we ever get in a joking setting, we might take some jabs at each other.
Yeah.
But we both have Big 12 championships. Really,
I love hearing that.
It was a power couple on campus. Power couple on campus.
We were trying to take it to another level, getting the natty. We came up short, but I'm super proud of her. It's just awesome to have her by my side, and I'm sure she appreciates me as well. Just being both athletes, going through the same thing, the same schedule, stuff like that, and having those mental battles, being there to support each other whenever we need it most, and that's getting together and cooking some dinner, just enjoying some time together,
dope.
Stuff like that just really allows us to enjoy the moments that we're in and realize that whether we're going through chaos or not, we get to enjoy and spend time together. So it's been a blessing.
See, that's how I know NIL is different. He talking about cooking dinner, and I'm thinking, man, we was walking up there to that McDonald's on the corner of MLK.
The Wendy's dollar menu.
Yeah, we right there. Wendy's going
over there
crazy.
Well, I was over there trying to eat hamburger helper.
Hey, you know what I would do though? I would steal from the cafeteria.
Did you just incriminate yourself?
I wasn't gonna go that far.
I don't know.
I don't know.
America, I don't know what wrong.
I am not associated.
I've never stolen anything.
I would take my own containers in there, and I would just take chicken fried steak and mashed potatoes and mac and cheese, and then when I go up to the room, I would invite some of the track girls, some of the soccer girls, hey, y'all want some dinner? Because dinner was early. It was at 5 o'clock. It was too early. So your boy, hey, I had dinner up at the Show Palace, up in Jester.
Yeah.
The Show Palace.
That's what we call it. The Show Palace. Yeah.
Man, just open the whole
Show Palace.
I got a lot of
I want to
questions.
pride, but I feel like I should.
I'm just saying. I'm just telling you.
That's for another episode.
That's how we had to survive.
There we go. That's Longhorn
Y'all
at
not
the
even in
door.
Jester anymore, right? Y'all in St. Jack.
Oh yeah, all the freshmen
Or
go
not
to
you.
Yeah,
But they don't even stay in Jester anymore.
Wow.
San Jack was
See?
good living
There
back
you
in the
go.
day.
Good
It was
Were y'all in
premium
Jester?
living back. Yeah, we was
No, me too.
Jester.
Yeah, me too, dude. Me too. Oh my
That's how you know though. All right, so I joke about it, but I think NIL is one of the dopest things that's happened to college sports.
No question.
Like for them to now be able to receive just a small bit of the fruits of their labor. Because as we all know, I love it as a sport, but this is a big business.
Yep.
A very big business. So speaking of that,
Yeah.
how has NIL positively or negatively impacted like your time at Texas and then like you guys as a team? What have you seen from it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just been a great opportunity to, of course, benefit off our name, image, and likeness. I'm pretty sure there's some college football game coming out.
I
I don't know about y'all, but like being in a college football game, that's pretty dope.
Oh no, that's
I'm gonna be playing, make myself a 99.
He's on 9 editions.
all right.
You say that. You say that. Fozzy's stupid.
Are you gonna be replacing Quinn?
I'll be the quarterback.
I'll say this: it's cool being in the video game until they try to hose you on your speed. They start playing with the speed.
You're like, wait a minute,
I can't do this no more.
That's true. Yeah, nothing annoys you more than somebody playing against you and then beating you on the video game. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Speaking of, since we're on the topic of NIL, let's kind of transition into the transfer portal. We see all these guys that we had in the transfer portal targeting all sorts of positions. Correct me if I'm wrong. We never reached out to any offensive linemen in the portal. Can anybody confirm that? I didn't hear anything.
It's true. Nothing that I've heard.
How does that make you feel for you and as a unit that the trust that they're content with what's in the room, what's in the building?
Good question.
I think that all goes down to Coach Flood and the faith that he has in all of us and his recruiting. I think he's done a great job recruiting guys that can once I leave can continue what we've started and keep raising the standard. And I think it's just awesome that he's just investing in us rather than the portal. Because he understands that, like, as an O-line, it's all about chemistry and camaraderie.
Yeah, man, that's a different.
You got to keep that going as much as possible, man.
That part is different though for that position group.
Because we're just in the
what I
trenches,
mean?
like 24/7 doing individual up on the hill on a hot fall day. Like,
individual up there by themselves, running
like
tracks.
we're by ourselves hitting the bag over and over. Just hot fall camp. Then we got to do it again tomorrow. Like, just having that, just that chemistry, man. Just having that sense of humor that we all have that we build together and just joking at each other, making fun of each other on film, like stuff like that, man. Like that's what goes into it, and that's what's been able to make us so special.
I think that's. I mean, I'm interested to hear you guys take. In my experience playing, the O-line group was always different.
Yeah,
it was like you got the team for sure, but that specific room was like their own kind of world.
They had their own culture.
They had their own
O-line is their own culture.
You walk in the locker room, they watching the cooking channel. Like, you know what I mean? Like that group would just run together all day, every day.
They definitely got a different bond in that room. And like you said, the way I view it is like the O-linemen are probably the most normal people to society on the team.
That's real.
That's fair.
Like everybody else is psychotic on the team. The O-line is the most level-headed, most normal individuals that can fit into society.
That's very.
I agree. That's a great take, yo.
You think about it. You think DBs and wideouts are divas.
Yep.
No question.
Running backs, they pretty normal. They pretty normal. Those guys they have a variety of personalities.
Jay, don't make me pull out some stories.
Quarterbacks are typically like, especially if you QB1, that's the star.
They got egos.
And then the specialists are just weird.
Yes.
And then like you got like the O-line, it's just like some big regular guys.
Yeah, it's like a big ass family.
Yeah.
Like siblings.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's super dope.
Well, Jake, we appreciate you coming out, man. We don't want to take too much of your time. Thanks so much for being here, and we're really excited to watch you go next year, man. And,
appreciate you guys.
Yeah, you'll have to come back and visit us again.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Awesome.
Hey, and I'm ready to see y'all get back to work, man. Take the time, get your body right. And then you know what you got to go do.
Oh, yeah.
You know what you got to go do.
Oh, yeah. Revenge tour.
Hey.
I love it.
Here we go. Jake Majors.
Thanks,
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Jake.